What up, what up, what up? What up, fan base? It's your boy Sid Linus checking in once again. I'm a fan base ambassador, and this is the week 1 of the Virtue.News sports show. Today we're going to be talking about football. We're going to do everything from week 1 all the way until week 18. We're going to do the playoffs, we're going to do the Super Bowl, and we're going to do it on the fan base audio app. So make sure you download Fanbase. Make sure you follow at Linus at CEDLINUS. And when you follow me, you will get notifications whenever I go live. Today we're doing it at 7 o'clock Central Time. It might be different. We might do different times. I might try to switch out at different times just to see how things going. But this is the first week, so I am here doing this for week 1. Now, the topics we're going to talk about today. Also, on fan-based audio, you are monetized from day 1. So if you create a profile and you come into the room, you can get paid tips and loves, which convert into money. You can get paid just by joining in on the audio room and just by being part of the audio room. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and get started. When people come to the room, I'll bring them up, and then we'll be able to have conversations about the topics that I'm actually talking about. So I'm going to start off with probably the biggest topic of the preseason, the offseason, and it has been Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders has been the biggest topic, and I told people from draft day that I wouldn't have shown up if I got drafted anywhere between rounds 4 and 7. Any rounds between 4 and 7, I wouldn't have showed up. I would have made a call to the Rock, and I would have been like, yo, I'm coming to the XFL. They play on ESPN as well. And there's a reason why I would have done that. And the reason why I would have done it is because when you get drafted from rounds 5 to 7, it is very hard for you to bounce back from that to be a starter or to be a player in the league. Because literally when teams draft you in rounds 5 to 7, you're not actually just auditioning for the team you got drafted for. Because 9 times out of 10, people who get drafted in the 5, 6, 7 round, they get cut. So you're auditioning for the whole NFL, and that's the way they view you. So from going from a person who is drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, going all the way to trying to be a starter or trying to make the team, or trying to be the second string, it's almost impossible. They don't have you in mind. And so then we have to talk about, hey, so why did he slip so far? Why was he rated by Mel Kiper to be, I think Mel Kiper might even had him as the number 1 quarterback. And other guys have him as the number 1 or 2. Most people had him 1 or 2 best quarterback in the draft. How did he slip all the way to the 5th round? Is it because of Coach Prime? Maybe so. Maybe not. But it's abnormal. It's abnormal for a guy rated that high to slip that far in the draft. So then you have to say to yourself, okay, well, he did. He slipped that far in the draft. He went to the 5th, 6th, 7th round. Okay, so what's next for him? He's going to get reps with the 4th string, the 3rd string in practice. He actually got a gift because everybody else was hurt. He was able to start in the first preseason game. And I think he played decent. He played pretty well. He threw 2 touchdowns. I think some people think that he played great. I wouldn't say he played great. I just say that he played well. And then the second preseason game, he didn't play at all. Dillon Gabriel played. And Dillon Gabriel played okay. And then the third game, Dillon Gabriel played great. And Shedeur Sanders didn't play good at all. So the one thing we have to understand is that, hold on one second. Let me see what happens if. Okay. I'm back. Just technical stuff. So with Dillon Gabriel, he's the person they have in mind to be the backup for this year. They drafted him before Shedeur. He's the guy they have in mind. When you are drafted in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round, you have to play perfect. You have to play perfect. You cannot, and I mean you absolutely cannot, have a bad game. Because to be truthfully honest with you, the way he played in the third game, he might have got cut if this wasn't such a big deal. Who knows? Or if they wasn't able to trade Kenny Pickett. But do I think Shedeur is a good quarterback? Yes, I think he's a good quarterback. And I think he deserves to play in this league. And I think if he keeps working, he could be a starter in this league. My thought was that I would have drafted him in the first round if I were a team that had a lot of pieces already in place. You don't want Shedeur running around like he ran around at Colorado with a team with no blocking and things like that. You know, if you don't have your offensive line in place, Cam Ward would have been a great pick. If you do have an offensive line and some running backs and some receivers or whatever, Shedeur would have been a great pick. That's what I believe. But I believe my take, and it could be a hot take, but I believe that I would have went to the other league. They play in the spring and the summer on ESPN. Because that's much better than being in a position where you're third string on the Browns and you might not even get on the field. At least if you play in the XFL, you can have content. You see what I'm saying? There's content for you. So, you know how that goes. So, anyway, that was my thing. Now we're going to go to Micah Parsons. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a little clip of Micah Parsons. And I want to play a clip of Skip Bayless's take. Okay, Skip Bayless's take on Micah Parsons, because it is very closely aligned to how I feel about Micah Parsons and the job I think Jerry Jones did with getting Micah Parsons up out of Dallas. Let me click on it.
How do you feel? Do you think it was smart or dumb by Jerry Jones to trade Micah Parsons?
Obviously, as you could just see, this was the first smart, bold, ballsy move that Jerry Jones has made in 30 years. And I want to be very clear about this. I am not second guessing this with some lame, weak second guess. I have been first guessing this for 2 long years. I've said overhyped, overrated, and please, Jerry, please don't ridiculously, dangerously overpay Micah Parsons. More trouble than worth, because in the end, he hasn't wrecked a game since his rookie year when he took the league by storm until the league figured out, oh, wait, he's just a finesse, flash and dash speed quickness rusher. We can run at him and we can neutralize him. And he became a liability against the run. In 4 playoff games, when they got run off the field, Micah Parsons has 1 sack in 4 playoff games. And guess when it came? It came, you know, Tampa Bay, you started there. It came late in a game at Tampa, a playoff game in which the Cowboys were ahead 31-14 against the 8-9 Buccaneers, who had stolen their division because they had a 45-year-old Tom Brady at quarterback. That's his only sack in 4 playoff games, 3 of which he completely no-showed in. The worst no-show of his career was, ironically, against the Green Bay Packers. I don't know, did they not watch this tape? Because he put up the worst numbers of his career against Green Bay in the playoff game. So I'm seeing a guy who, since he came in the league, is 5th in sacks, he's 5th in quarterback hits, which is not bad, until you start saying, well, wait a second, he cares more about his podcast than he does about winning football games. He got blasted by veterans in the locker room for just that. He was not a leader, he's not a cold-blooded killer, he's not a physical football player, and in the end, I say good riddance and good luck to the Green Bay Packers.
I feel.
And look, that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. As a 49ers fan, we've played Dallas Cowboys a bunch of times, and sometimes in the regular season, sometimes in the playoffs. Micah Parsons has never, and I repeat, has never been a player that I felt like the 49ers ever game planned for. To the point where he wasn't even getting sacks against us. We were not worried about him in the pass rush. And in our run, he can't tackle. He's very easily blocked. We never even tried to run the ball away from him. Never. We run the ball right at him. It seems like to me he's a front runner. If the game is easy and the game is coming to him easy and he's much better than the offensive lineman, he can have a good game. But when there's adversity, when he's not stronger or better than the guy on the opposite side of the field, he ain't gonna do too much for you. And I'm the type of person who believes that he's been trying to get out of Dallas for a long time. Even his comments and the way he would comment about the team and the team's performance, he just seemed like to me that he's a person that hops off of the train. Now, Jerry Jones said that he offered him the highest contract of any non-quarterback. And Micah Parsons did not take it, which means to me that Micah Parsons wanted to go elsewhere. That's what it sounds like to me. So, do I think he deserved 4 years, $188 million? I don't. I don't at all. And I hear people calling him Lawrence Taylor. I hear people calling him Reggie White. I hear people calling him Von Miller. I have not seen any of that from Micah Parsons. I have not seen any of that from Micah Parsons. So, I believe Jerry Jones did the right thing. He's not going to pay that guy that much money. There will be a lot of guys on the Dallas Cowboys getting top dollar. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and it would have been Micah Parsons. At some point in time, you can't pay everybody top dollar. And I think Jerry Jones has been very generous. But I think he did what was in best interest of the team. I share the same ideas about it as Skip. It was time to move on. Because if you have Micah Parsons and you pay him $188 million in 4 years, guess what? You're still not stopping the run. You're still not stopping the run. So I think it's good that Micah Parsons is in Green Bay and they paid a bunch of money for him. And I think it's really good that the Dallas Cowboys can go ahead and move on. Now, once again, I want to reset the room. This is Virtue.Sports. We talked about Shedeur Sanders. We talked about Micah Parsons. Now we're going to talk about our week 1 picks. Let me see if I can go ahead and bring it up on my screen. Our week 1 picks. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to have our week 1 picks. And I'm going to keep track. I'm going to keep track on whether or not I win these games or I lose these games. Remember, I'm gonna make today is Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Each week we're going to do a show. So make sure that you sign up on Fanbase on the Fanbase app. Make a profile so you can join me on the show. You can come up and talk and everything. We can all interact. And then I want to I'm recording this as well. So this will be recorded. This will be on YouTube, probably Spotify. So I'll be able to put this audio up on different things as well. But I want to keep score of the games that we're talking about. We're always going to do a Thursday night game, Friday night game, or whatever. I don't know what they're doing this year. But the first week, they got a Thursday night game and Friday night game. And then we're always going to do the Monday night game. And then we'll have 2 games on the weekends as well that we're going to end up talking about. So, let's start off with first things first. We got the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Eagles. And this is very early in the season. A lot of times, teams who win the Super Bowl, they have a hangover. So we can expect the Eagles to start the season off pretty flat. And that's what I believe is going to happen. I believe the Eagles are going to come out pretty flat, and I think the Dallas Cowboys is going to win this game. I think getting Micah Parsons probably out of the locker room and having that whole thing just behind the Dallas Cowboys will really go well for their camaraderie in this match. So I got the Dallas Cowboys beating the Philadelphia Eagles. The next game on Friday. This game is on YouTube. We got Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the LA Chargers. Hold on. Let's see what's going on. Going up against the LA Chargers. I have Kansas City. I got Kansas City winning that game. Hold on 1 second, guys. Make sure I'm still recording. Let's see what's going on. Okay, boom, I'm still recording. This is the first week. Technical difficulties, it's fine. We're going to get it all the way together. You know how we do. Okay, so I got Cowboys beating the Eagles, and I got the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Chargers. Then we're going to inspect the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. I truthfully believe that the Commanders are a Super Bowl ready team. They got Terry McLaurin back. Their quarterback is in his second year. Looked incredible in the little preseason little snippet I saw. I think they're going to start the season off running. I think Russell Wilson is going to struggle. I don't know if he's even going to finish the season as a starter. I think they're probably looking to put Dart in any chance they get. So I believe that the Washington Commanders will beat the New York Giants. Then we got the 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going with the 49ers because I'm being biased in this week 1. And I think both of these teams, their depth chart leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, I looked at the 49ers roster, and I mean, we have so many holes in our roster, it's not even funny. More than I can even think of in recent memory. But it's always a chance to make new stars. Robert Saleh is back as the defensive coordinator. And the Seattle Seahawks is just a team that's just up in the air. So I'm going to go with the 49ers this week. And then Monday night, we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm going to say this. Caleb Williams, you're on the clock. Chicago Bears, they don't let quarterbacks have 2 seasons that are underwhelming. So Caleb Williams, you're on the clock. The clock is starting to tick. So you're on the clock, buddy. I hate to say it, but you are. The Vikings, I'm going to tell you something about the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy is probably the next Tom Brady. He's probably the next Tom Brady. And I don't want to say that because actually, I don't want the Vikings to win a chip. I live in Minnesota. I'm from Virginia, but I live in Minnesota. I don't want the Vikings to win a chip at all. I don't at all. But I do believe that J.J. McCarthy is the next great quarterback. Now, I'm a Michigan fan. You call me biased if you want to. Don't really matter. Call me biased. It don't matter. But I believe that he has all the intangibles of the next great quarterback. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be better than, Mahomes. We get our top 4 right now. Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. That's the top 4 right now. I'm not saying that he's going to play this year and automatically run into the top 4. Jaden Daniels can actually is the next guy beating on that door. Justin Herbert is also beating on that door. But I believe J.J. McCarthy is special, and I can't wait to see him play on Monday night. So that concludes the first week of the Virtue.News sports show. Now remember, I'm Seth Linus. I am doing this in the fan base audio room, and I'm also recording this as well for playback. These are the things I think about the first week 1, everything that's going on. We will be back week 2, and we will be able to talk about everything that happened in week 1 and our picks for week 2. But remember, you can always join me right here on the Fanbase app to tell me about your picks, to tell me about who you think is going to win these games, things of that nature. And so please join me next week. We're going to have some guests, and it's just going to build and build and build and build. I know it is. Week 18. By the time we get to the Super Bowl, everything is going to be jumping. But it takes time to build podcasts. It takes time for things to build. So make sure you clock in, you join me so we can have a great conversation. We'll play videos in the audio room on Fanbase. You can play videos in the audio room. So make sure that you see it there. Also, make sure that you are visiting Virtue.News. It's the greatest website for news. And the sports division of Virtue.News is sponsoring this show. We're not going to call it a podcast. We call it a show /podcast /audio room /everything. So next week, join me. Remember, I got the Cowboys, I got the Chiefs, I got the Commanders, I got the 49ers, and I got the Vikings. All right, so I'll see y'all next week. All right, peace. Keep God first. All right, peace.